All children know that in their closets lie terrible monsters that come out at night to scare them. But what they don't know is that the monsters need to take possession of their screams of terror to produce electricity in the city of Monstropolis, where all the monsters live. One morning, a hairy monster named James P. Sullivan, Sully to his friends, and his best friend Mike, a small one-eyed ball-shaped monster, decide to walk to Monsters, Incorporated, the company where they work together. Sully is a scarer, the best of all, and Mike is his trusty assistant. The two friends stopped in the lobby of Monsters, Incorporated.
Happy birthday.
Mike says to Celia, his girlfriend.
Oh, googly woogly, you remembered.
Celia shouts happily. Mike invites the pretty girl to a romantic dinner in one of the most famous restaurants in Monstropolis. Then the two friends go to the locker room to get ready. But suddenly, out of nowhere, Randall appears, a large monster similar to a chameleon and who can camouflage himself in any environment, making himself invisible. Mike shouts. Randall is also a scarer and is jealous of Sully's success, because he would like to be the best child-scaring monster in Monsters, Incorporated. His goal is to beat Sully at all costs. Mike and Sully leave the locker room and head to the scaring ward, where hundreds of monsters are already stationed in front of the doors that allow the scares to enter the bedrooms of all the children in the world. The red lights above the doors indicate that everything is ready. It is time for the scares to begin.
May the best monster win.
Sully shouts before lunging through his door, and Randall answers.
I plan to.
In a short time, Randall scares many children, capturing a lot of screams. His faithful assistant, Fungus, points to the scoreboard with satisfaction. Randall seems to be in the lead, but unfortunately for him, Sully enters a room where a sleepover is taking place and collects more screams than all the other monsters. This time he is the best scarer of Monsters, Incorporated.
2319! We have a 2319!
An assistant shouts. A child's sock is stuck to the back of a scarer named George. 2319 is the alarm code that the CDA, Child Decontamination Corps, special agents use in these cases. The monsters know that children and their clothes and toys are toxic, and the agents intervene immediately by subjecting George to the decontamination treatment that includes complete hair removal, shower and collar. So the workday comes to an end and all the doors are transferred to the warehouse by means of a conveyor belt. But just as Mike is leaving with his dear Celia, he is stopped by Roz, the monster who controls the work of all the employees of Monsters, Incorporated. Once again Mike has forgotten to hand in his daily report. Fortunately, Sully runs to his ape saying that he will go and get the report, while the two lovers go calmly to the restaurant. Sully returns to the scare shop and notices that one of the doors has not been put back in the warehouse. A little surprised, he opens it, but seeing no one in the room, he quickly closes it. Then, suddenly, he hears a noise behind him and, turning around, sees a little girl clinging to his tail. Like all scares, Sully is terrified of children, who are even more toxic than their socks. Children are not allowed in Monstropolis. In a panic, Sully tries to take the little girl back to her room, but the little girl, who is not afraid of him at all, returns to the ward. Furthermore, her toys get caught in the monster's fur. Finally Sully manages to put the little girl in a bag. Just in time. In fact, Randall is coming and Sully hides. No one must know what is happening to him. Randall makes the little girl's door go up in the storage room. Not knowing what to do, poor Sully decides to ask Mike for help, and so he joins him at the restaurant. Mike does not like his romantic dinner with Celia being interrupted, but when he sees the little girl come out of the bag he jumps in fear, and all the monsters in the restaurant also panic and start screaming. Mike and Sully try to take the little girl away and manage to escape before the CDA arrives, who subjects everyone present, including Celia, to the decontamination treatment. Luckily, no one sees Mike and Sully take the little girl to Mike's house. But their problems aren't over. CDA helicopters are flying over the city looking for the little girl. The two friends must come up with a plan to take the little girl back home and, above all, they must try not to make her laugh, since her laughter makes the light brighter, thus attracting the attention of the CDA agents. In the end, the little girl falls asleep on Sully's bed, who feels great tenderness watching her sleep. Maybe children aren't that dangerous. But Mike isn't convinced. The little girl must go home as soon as possible. So, the next morning, the two friends dress the little girl up as a little monster and take her to Monsters, Incorporated, determined to find her door and send her home. The three must not be discovered by Watanus, the head of Monsters, Incorporated, who is talking to the CDA agents. Sully takes the little girl to the locker room and starts playing hide and seek with her. He named the little girl Boo, because of the sound she keeps making.
What are you doing?
Mike asks, annoyed, reaching them.
I'm looking for the kid.
The friend answers. Sully and Mike have just managed to find Boo when they hear footsteps. The three friends quickly hide. It's Randall, and when Boo sees him she starts to whimper. He is the monster who enters her room every night to scare her. Randall looks around suspiciously, but is distracted by the arrival of Fungus, his assistant, who, waving a sheet of newspaper, exclaims,
It's on the front page. The child, the one you were after.
Randall tells him not to worry and to look after the machine, while he tries to find the little girl. Now Mike and Sully know that Randall is up to something. But for now they have a bigger problem to solve, getting little Boo to the scary department, so she can go back to her room. So they need to find the right door.
That's not her door.
Sully says, looking at the door Mike led them to.
What are you talking about? Of course it's her door. It's her door.
Mike insists. While the two argue, something catches Boo's attention, who silently walks away. Sully and Mike notice the little girl is missing and immediately start looking for her. But they are not very lucky, because they run into Randall.
So what do you think of that kid getting out, Sullivan? Pretty crazy, huh?
Randall says. Mike and Sully look at each other worriedly. At that moment Celia arrives, still wearing the decontamination collar. The girl turns to Mike, shouting,
Last night was one of the worst nights of my entire life.
Randall listens carefully and, looking at the newspaper, notices the photo of Mike in the restaurant where the little girl was spotted. Randall suspects. Mike and Sully definitely have something to do with the little girl. Mike realizes that Randall suspects him and runs away, leaving Celia increasingly furious. But the chameleon monster chases him and suddenly appears in front of him, giving him a great scare.
Where's the kid?
Randall asks, pinning him against the wall.
You're not pinning this on me.
Mike replies in terror. The evil Randall, however, does not believe him and orders him to take the little girl to the scary department, where he will find the right door to take her back to the human world. Meanwhile, Sully is still looking for little Boo, when he notices that the little girl has ended up in the garbage can.
No.
The scarer shouts as he sees two monsters knocking the trash can over into the garbage disposal. But when Sully reaches the garbage disposal room, he finds nothing but a cube of garbage and one of Boo's costume antennae. Poor Sully is desperate. He doesn't know that the little girl actually jumped out of the trash can just in time. Having freed himself of Randall, Mike reaches his friend.
Okay, Sully, come on, look.
Sully, in tears, tells him what happened. He has just finished speaking when he is interrupted by Boo's laughter, so she wasn't shredded with the garbage. Sully can't believe his eyes and runs to hug the little girl. Mike, Sully and Boo rush to the scary department. There Mike sees Boo's door in Randall's station, just as the monster had promised. But Sully, who doesn't trust Randall, hesitates and doesn't want to let the little girl into the room. So, to show him that everything is okay, Mike goes into Boo's room first and starts jumping on the bed, but Randall suddenly appears behind him and traps him in a box. Sully and Boo see Randall coming out of the room, taking the box with him. Sully absolutely has to do something to help his friend, so, without wasting any time, he and Boo chase after Randall. But, as soon as they turn a corner, the two find themselves in a dead end. Only by chance does Boo find a secret passage behind a tool panel. At the end of the passage is Randall's secret laboratory, where the machine that the monster has built to suck up children's screams is located, and Mike is trapped in the machine. Randall made a mistake and captured Mike instead of Boo. Now he is furious. He wants to know where the little girl is at all costs, but Mike does not know how to answer him. Luckily, Sully manages to stop the machine and so Mike, Sully and Boo can escape. Running away, the three friends reach the hall. Mike is desperate and wants to run away, but Sully has an idea and goes to ask for help from his friend Watanus, to whom he explains the evil plan of Randall and his scream-sucking machine. But Watanus agrees with Randall and, after finishing a great surprise, grabs Boo and pushes Mike and Sully through a large metal door that leads to the human world. Mike is furious with poor Sully and accuses him.
We're banished, genius! We're in the human world! Oh, what a great idea going to your old pal Watanus.
But Sully only thinks about how to save little Boo. Unfortunately, he knows that there is no going back. Suddenly, a huge being appears out of nowhere. It is the Yeti, the abominable snowman. He too was kicked out of the monster world a long time ago and takes Sully and Mike to his cave. The Yeti tells them that there is a small village nearby and Sully immediately has an idea. If they could find a child's room with a closet, maybe they could return to Monstropolis and save Boo. Wasting no time, Sully builds a sled using wooden planks found in the Yeti's cave and slides down towards the village. Mike is too angry with him to follow. Soon, Sully finds a closet and manages to return to Monsters, Incorporated. He immediately runs to Randall's laboratory, where the little prisoner, Boo, cries in despair.
Let's get you home.
Sully shouts to make the little girl hear him. When he reaches the lab, a nasty surprise awaits him. Boo is tied to Randall's machine and with him are also Fungus and Watanus. The little girl is terrified. Sully lets out a terrifying scream and frees Boo from the machine, causing the device to fall to the ground, which, rolling, overwhelms Watanus and Fungus. So Sully and Boo can escape.
Get up! There can't be any witnesses!
Shout Watanus at Randall. Having become invisible, Randall attacks Sully, but in the middle of the fight he is hit by a snowball that makes him visible again. It is Mike, who has changed his mind and decided to help his two friends. He too has found his way to Most Prula by passing through a child's closet. Sully then hits Randall and runs away with Mike and Boo. But the chameleon monster quickly recovers and gives chase. The three friends reach the scary department and cling to a door that is about to be put away in the warehouse. But just when they are about to reach Boo's door, Randall approaches. Suddenly Sully remembers that he noticed that the sound of the little girl's laughter increases energy and tells Mike to make Boo laugh. This activates the doors that allow entry into the world of men. Sully, Mike and Boo pass from one door to another chased by Randall. Randall doesn't give up. He snatches the baby from Sully's hands and enters a room. Sully chases them, but is hit by Randall and slips into the void. He manages to hold on, but the chameleon monster tries to make him let go. Boo is afraid of Randall, but wants to help his friend and so he grabs the monster's tail and pulls it as hard as he can. Then, with a decisive blow, Sully sends Randall into the world of men through an open door. But the problems for the three friends are not over. In fact, just Watanus and the CDA agents who are anxiously waiting for them. With a clever move, Mike throws a sock at the agents, who run away scared, because they think it is toxic. Sully takes advantage of this to run away with Boo. But the evil Watanus does not give up and chases them relentlessly. As soon as Watanus reaches Sully, Mike and Boo, he confesses his diabolical plan to them. The city of Monstropolis does not have enough energy and the children are becoming less and less scared. Therefore, a way must be found to scare them. His intention is therefore to kidnap children and suck their screams with his special machine. For this reason, Randall, his accomplice, has kidnapped Boo.
I'll kidnap 1,000 children before I let this company die!
Says Watanus. But here comes Roz, who is actually the head of the CDA and has been secretly investigating Randall's secret plans for some time. She has heard Watanus's confession and orders her agents to arrest him. So it's time to take Boo back to her house. Sully takes the little girl to her room and puts her to bed.
Nothing's coming out of your closet to scare you anymore, right?
Sully reassures her. Boo smiles.
Goodbye, Boo.
His friend whispers to her. Then, slowly, Sully enters the closet looking at the little girl who, sitting on the bed, calls him. Finally, he closes the door behind him. To prevent Boo from returning to the monster world, the CDA agents destroy his door. Sad, Sully picks up a piece of the door from the floor. It is all he has left of Boo now. Mike knows how sad his friend is, and as they leave Monsters Incorporated, he tells him,
Come on, pal, cheer up. We did it. We got Boo home.
Sure, we put the factory in the toilet and, gee, hundreds of people will be out of work now. Not to mention the angry mob that'll come after us when there's no more power, but hey, at least we had some laughs, right?
Mike's words give Sully an idea to keep Monsters Incorporated afloat. In fact, after some time, Monsters Incorporated is back in full swing. The scary department is gone. In its place there is a laughter department, where the monsters, instead of making children scream with fear, make them laugh. Thanks to Boo, they have learned that laughter is not more powerful than screams, and Monstropolis will never run out of energy. But Sully really misses little Boo. So Mike puts all the pieces of the little girl's door back together to allow Sully to visit her whenever he wants.